Did you notice as far as like jealousy in the area? Because Boxkar was getting a lot of a notice, and you guys were doing some really cool things. An example was the George W. Bush presidential inauguration you guys got to go play at. Were you feeling sort of like almost like you were being turned on by some of the people in the scene or some of the people in this area because of your success?
Tommy, if you don't take this question, I'm afraid that
you
I'm
really
gonna
do
say
your
something.
research, Andy, a little too well.
He's known us forever. Why don't you start and then I'll finish.
Well, I know I'll say too, there was a kind of a controversy. Obviously, there's a group of people that were like, why are you going to go play that? You know, so you've got that. You've got the political aspect, but then you've got the jealousy aspect. So you guys had just a lot of pressure on you.
Well, the political thing was a little awkward because, you know, our band in itself is a democracy. So we don't all vote one direction or another.
Right,
and
right.
when the gig came up, you know, we kind of talked about it, and it was a good opportunity. And we took it.
Yeah. That was good. That was awesome. Very vanilla. Now he's asking me for the color. I'll give you some color. It was us, Three Doors Down, Fuel, Ryan Cabrera, Hillary Duff. You can't tell me all those bands vote one way or not the next. So we got a lot of heat. We got heat even from our own local newspaper. And here we are at a huge event. We're the only unsigned band in the whole inauguration. Temptations, and I mean, it was nuts, that the lineup, Blues Traveler and all that kind of stuff. And so we're in D.C. doing these interviews from all over the country, parts of the world, right? I mean, how many interviews was I doing while you guys were sleeping or sleeping it off? There's Chris 5 a.m. doing some interview from England or whatever. But here we are doing all this great stuff. And for the most part, let me tell you something. I mean, it was awesome. We were on the newspapers in Milwaukee and TV stations all around the state. So 90% of everything was just super proud of Boxkar doing this. But the 10% really were a bummer because they're the ones that actually kind of brought the political tint to it. I said this in Classic Rock magazine. They're a worldwide published magazine because they did an interview with us, and they asked me this question: do you get any blowback for doing the presidential inauguration? And my response is the same one I'm going to give everybody right now. If the president of the United States, vote for him or not, asks you to play a concert with Fuel, Ryan Cabrera, or some of the people Three Doors Down, you'll say yes. And it's easy to throw stones and say, oh no, I would never do that. But listen, this was a huge moment, not only for our careers, but for pride in a country. Like the president or not, you should respect the office, and you should respect the what the country does on that day with a bunch of other huge artists that also are in the same boat that you are. They don't all vote that same way, but they're proud to be a part of something. And so, hell yeah, I don't with all the stuff that we took for it in our you're right, we did, from even artists around here, no names mentioned, one in particular, but I the whole time, no matter what pressure we were feeling, we shook it off as we're proud of it. And I don't care what the newspaper, the Appleton Post-Crescent said. They're not ever going to take back that wonderful experience that we had with the people we had around us, and that's that.
Did you get to meet any cool people while you were playing that?
Tommy.
Right.
Tommy.
Well, let's see. We met, who's the Blues Traveler guy?
Oh, John Popper.
Yeah, we hung out with him. Yeah.
Hung out with him a bit, and then he got us into that event
with Three Doors Down, playing with not Buddy Guy, but
right, B.B. King.
King.
So we
wow.
walk. So he got us in. He put us on a guest list. We go to this party, and I see TV screens with B.B. King playing on them, and I'm assuming they're playing a video. But then I walk downstairs, and there's B.B. King was playing live right there. So
it's 50 people?
Yeah, small
maybe?
crowd. It was awesome. And then we ran into John again, I think, at was it a Hard Rock Cafe or something like that? And
yeah. My favorite story about that is when we first ran into John, we were all the bands stayed in one hotel, and we were at the lobby. Remember, were you there? We're sitting on the couches, and John came and sat on the empty chair. And I think he thought that we're like a brand new big band that he just hasn't heard of because he's on the road so much. I think that's kind of what he was. Remember this? He was,
Yeah. How many units was that?
yeah. So he started asking us like, man, how many units of albums did you guys sell? And he's like, and then he starts going into the soliloquy. Remember this teaching moment of, listen, you guys are maybe making millions right now, but I want you to know, save it. We're just laughing. None of us, right? We didn't have the guts to tell him that we're unsigned and like nobody knows about us.
Right. I had like $20 in my pocket. Oh, man.
It's funny. Yeah, it was. We were, hung out with Ryan Seacrest. I mean, it was a really crazy, awesome time. I think that looking back, the band was extremely tight, but it was a big moment for us.
Yeah,
it was a pretty big moment, and the stage was so big. MTV2 went live, and the stage was so big that it had 2 catwalks. And I mean, I'm in good shape, right? At this time, I'm like, I got this.
Right.
Second song, Tommy T knows I'm struggling. We're playing every song twice as fast as the album because we're all just super nervous. And there goes my guitar player, moseys out to the farthest catwalk. And I'm like, he's just out there by himself, like on an island. And I know him because he's kind of looking back at me. And like when he does that, I usually kind of come up to him and we do our thing. But I'm like, I got to take a damn airplane to get to this guy. So I'm just totally huffing and puffing. I run out to him, and there's this great shot. I'll never forget. I have it. There's a great shot of me and him just out at the end of the catwalk. It's 18,000 people, by the way. 18,000 people at the show. And it's just me and him, and that's like one of the moments that I always cherish from that. So
That was cool.